Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Ridir Gaming. I'm excited to talk about an oldie but a goodie, Dota 2, and why I think that you should still play this game, or at least give it a shot. Alright, first I need to get some more coffee, and we'll be right back. Okay, let's get started. Dota 2 is an older game, but it's absolutely fantastic. It's awesome and it's fun, at least in my opinion. Press that like button, hit subscribe, notification bell, and leave a comment down below. Here's the question: League of Legends or Dota 2? Which game do you prefer and why? So should you play Defense of the Ancients 2? If you're a competitive personality who wants a game that you can dive into, you can play on repeat, and you have a lot of fun with it, absolutely, this game will be a lot of fun. If you're a casual player and you really just want to have something that's easy to learn, easy to understand, not a huge amount of complexity, I'm much more likely to recommend going into League of Legends. The learning curve is just a little bit better there. While I can't make this decision for you, I can tell you more about the game and let you choose for yourself. Dota 2 is a considerable improvement on the original Dota, which was a mod in Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos. The game is one of the most popular and profitable games on the market today, even though it was released over 6 years ago. So what is Dota 2? Well, it's a MOBA, which is a multiplayer online battle arena. It's on PC and Linux. It was developed by Valve. It's on Steam. It's free to play. It's the Source 2 engine, and it was originally released in July of 2013. It was kind of ported over to the Source 2 engine in 2016. There are no expansions for this game, but it does get regular updates. It gets patches all the time. There's always an annual release with it. For single player, it's kind of there. It's bot matches. They're really good for learning. The mainstay of the game is multiplayer, which you have casual, ranked, and competitive circuits for multiplayer. All right, going into the backstory of Dota, it's the sequel to Defense of the Ancients, which was a community-created game mode for Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos. The key modders, and I say modders and not developers for a reason, cycled in and out of the community before IceFrog took the reins and steered the game towards a semi-professional presentation, support, and development. Valve then hired IceFrog in 2009 and released Dota 2 in 2013, a year after its main competitor, League of Legends. Dota 2 has a steep learning curve for its hero and combat system, and part of this comes from the sheer number of heroes that exist with unique abilities, items, and recipes. The user interface is very simplistic and intuitive, but the sheer amount of information can be overwhelming. There are multiple game modes to choose from when you're actually picking a game to play. So you have your standard games, which are all pick, all random, captain's mode, and that's where a single player from each team picks everybody's heroes. And those games usually last somewhere right around an hour. And then there's turbo mode, which is significantly shorter. Everything's kind of normalized. The games stay a little bit closer, and they're about a half hour long. Dota 2 map closely mimics the original Dota map with 3 lanes, a top, a middle, and a bottom lane, and 4 jungles, 2 on each side of the map, split by a river. There's an overpowered neutral creep named Roshan who drops incredibly powerful items, but generally takes 2 to 5 players to kill, and additionally 6 runes on the map that respawn every 2 minutes, 4 bounty runes with golden experience, and 2 power-up runes that randomly generate a modifier for the players: haste, double damage, invisibility, or hit point regeneration. The teams and their halves of the map are called the Radiant in the lower left corner and the Dire in the upper right hand corner. The map mimics their names with lush green forest and bright colors on the lower half of the map and dark brooding woods with dead trees and flames on the Dire's half. Many paths throughout the jungles facilitate movement to include warding, ganking, and other activities. Map vision is a crucial piece of the gameplay due to fog of war laid over the minimap, allowing a team to see only what its units see. With varying heights in the terrain, holding the high ground is advantageous because it allows for further sight and attack range. The 3 lanes are clearly marked and start with 3 defensive towers and 2 NPC barracks, which are inside the base. These barracks spawn creeps who attack the enemy's base and their ancient. Creeps are easy to distract and will attack anything they encounter along the path, to include enemy creeps, neutral creeps from camps in the jungle, and enemy towers. Knowing the map and how it plays to height differences, the day-night cycle, line of sight, creep camps, it all becomes continuously more important. Gameplay consists of 2 teams of 5 players, each controlling their own heroes, battling to destroy the other team's ancient, a prominent spire in the middle of the base. Heroes have a few seconds at the beginning of the game to get any starter items they want and move to the respective lanes. Typically, 2 heroes will go to the top and bottom lanes, one each of carry and support, and a strong early game hero to the middle lane. Heroes start at level 1 and increase in level by gaining experience points via killing NPCs, enemy heroes, enemy structures, neutral creeps. Heroes also collect gold by being the last one to hit an enemy, ensuring that they buy more powerful items quicker and hopefully outperform their opponents. When a player's hero dies, it sits out for a predetermined amount of time based on their level, the game mode, and the current time frame within the game. Players have the option to buy back once every 10 minutes, but there is a risk versus reward situation as additional time is added to the respawn timer for their next death. Now here's where things get a little overwhelming. There are currently 117 heroes, each with their own unique skills, abilities, and values in the 3 main categories of intelligence, agility, and strength. Those 3 categories affect the mana pool and regeneration, which is intelligence, attack speed, which is agility, and hit points and regeneration, which is strength. Every hero has their base attack damage and has at least 4 abilities ranging from very straightforward, do more damage, increase attack speed, etc., to more complicated spells that require a series of actions to occur to complete an attack. The 4th ability is the hero's ultimate and unlocks at level 6, upgrades at level 11, and is the most powerful version available at level 16. There is also a talent tree that allows to specialize their hero further based on the composition and need. Almost all the abilities require mana, which slowly regenerates over time, or can be regained quickly at the base fountain or periodically available jungle fountains. Heroes are primarily categorized into 2 groups, carries or core, and support roles. Although there are a ton of categories to search by to include initiator, pusher, nuker, jungler, disabler, and escapist. Carries or core heroes start weaker than the other heroes, but when built up correctly and protected in the early game, are able to carry their team later in the game, hence the term carry. Support heroes, on the other hand, tend to focus on helping the entire team or other heroes and work well with a carry. For example, a Treant player will use their ultimate ability to restrict the mobility of the opposing team, allowing 2 carries to focus on the highest threat. Without the movement restriction of the support hero, the enemy team could potentially escape or even concentrate on the Treant team's carries and flip the fight in their favor. Another example is a Drow player who will use their abilities, their talents, their talent tree, and the items that they get in order to increase attack speed, attack damage, and stack these abilities. They do a lot of damage, but they can't take a lot of damage, and they need to be able to get in and get out quickly. They're also rather weak at the beginning. Now there's 2 main ways to play this game, single player and multiplayer. The single player games are bot matches which allow players to learn the game and how to play, rebind their keys, and understand certain heroes significantly better. Bot matches guarantee that players can practice with a particular hero before going into a public multiplayer match, either unranked or ranked, or without being committed to one that they don't like. So there are lots of different heroes with lots of different play styles, and not everybody will be happy playing all the different heroes. The bot matches can be increased in difficulty, scaling up to a full game with extremely difficult AI, so that the players can continue to refine their skills and practice against continuously harder bots. Now we get into multiplayer game modes, which are split into 3 main categories. You have unranked, ranked, and professional circuits. Players are tracked on their wins, their losses, kills, deaths, assists, and supporting actions taken so that they can go through and create what's called a matchmaking rating, or an MMR. Players are put into those tiers. That is the group that they are able to pull other players from, and the games are found that way. Unranked games do not publicly display a player's MMR, unlike the ranked gameplay ladder, which does. To prevent boosting, ranked accounts are linked to an active phone number, and the highest ranked players are then posted onto leaderboards divided by a world region. The ranking system has led to some very competitive and toxic games, and to combat this, Valve has introduced several mechanics. Everything is steered towards making a better community. The first and most important is a reporting system which allows other players in the game to report harassment, toxic behavior, intentionally losing the game, or altogether just quitting the game. Players who receive enough reports are placed in a separate playlist called Low Priority, which requires several wins and a cooldown period to get out of. These games take much longer to find, and the incentive is for players to take a break from Dota 2 and chill out. For the competitive esports scene, Dota 2 has one of the longest running esports scenes with major events regularly throughout the year leading up to the International, or TI, for that year. Although League of Legends is a much larger game with a massive 60 million plus player base, Dota 2 continues to be the top grossing esport with the prize pool topping $41 million in 2018, nearly double the second place Counter-Strike, which had roughly $22.5 million. There are other game modes available, and these are actually created by the community in the custom game modes. This has allowed modders to bring back old game modes and maps, including tower defenses and gym TDs from Warcraft 3, and it's also allowed for the recent development of Dota Underlords, which is based on the game mode Auto Chess. Player imagination and a robust toolset are pretty much the only limitations here. Now we're getting into something that I both love and hate to talk about, and that's monetization. Dota 2 is a free-to-play game, and you can play the entire game for free. You do not have to spend any money whatsoever in Dota. However, there is quite a bit of monetization available in the game. So with any player being able to experience the full gameplay at any time, day 1 or day 1582 without paying a dime, what's the incentive to actually buy anything in this game? Well, there's loot boxes called caches that provide cosmetic items for individual heroes, for the user interface, sound packs, mouse cursors, terrain maps. Basically, anything that doesn't affect gameplay is available for customization through these skins and cosmetics. These items, you can either purchase them individually or you can purchase the caches and then open them and hope that you get something really cool. And it will show you what each one has available within the cache. And you can see, oh, it's got these 20 different hero skins, or it's got the possibility of opening up this screen, or whatever it is, or this courier is available. I'm not really anti this type of marketing and this type of monetization because the developers are very much into supporting the community and making sure that the game is the best that it could possibly be. I personally have had quite a bit of items within Dota 2. I think at one point I had over 700 unique individual items from playing the game so much, and I sold over 400 of them, ranging from a penny a pop to more than $13, $14, $15 each. And I was able to buy quite a few games on Steam because I had all of these cosmetics from within the game. So a player isn't restricted. Basically, once they buy this, the item just disappears. They can actually sell it and make some money back, and then buy a different game if they so choose. There's two other ways that Dota has monetized as well. And one of them is Dota Plus, which is a monthly subscription at $4 a month for additional content to include exclusive skins, HUDs, unique currency that allows player to buy extra things, and then additional player guides, helpful hints, statistical breakdowns, heat maps, and stuff like that. It bills itself as helping enhance the Dota 2 player. Whether it does or not, I don't know. I have never actually purchased it. There's also the Battle Pass, which is a $10 season pass tied annually to the international tournament, where you increase in level based on accomplishments and games played, or if you want to buy the levels. Players earn additional rewards, skins, points, caches each level. Grinding out to the upper levels is almost impossible unless you're a full-time streamer. However, like I said earlier, you can buy the levels. I've seen players that go through and don't buy the Battle Pass at all, and then I've seen players that have gone through and bought the Battle Pass up to level 300, 400, or 500, spending more money than I care to imagine on the game. What is nice about the Battle Pass is that a portion of the proceeds of the Battle Pass go to support the prize pool for the international tournament. So your casual, everyday player can support the competitive scene, which is very unique and has kept the game going forward and has one of the best competitive scenes because of it. The visuals and art of Dota 2 were given an enormous improvement when ported over to the Source 2 engine in 2016, and character models are currently in the upgrade process. New map appearance packs keep it lively, and there's customizations available within the game through sound packs, cursors, and other cosmetics that keep the game interesting visually. Special effects are a vital component of the game, as spells are bright and powerful and give a visual indicator of what is about to happen or has happened, giving the player instant feedback or warning of spells, attacks, Basically, it's a key component of gameplay. The effects scale well across PC component rangings, meaning Dota 2 can run on low-end graphics laptops like my Razer Blade Stealth or high-end RTX 2080 builds. Although Dota 2 has been out for a while, it is still a gorgeous game that continues to be updated and runs very well. Sound design is absolutely superb in Dota 2. Each hero has a voice actor providing dozens of lines for the situation, player interaction with the environment, hero interaction with another night hero, quips on death, resurrection, being bored. There's just a ton of voice lines within this game. There's also in-game announcers that alert the players to important events, such as the towers and bases coming under attack, if particular heroes doing well with a kill streak, or if the neutral creep Roshan has been defeated. The different announcer packs are all unique with quips, accents, and personalities, and just bring another level and layer of professionalism to Dota 2. It's one of my favorite parts about the game. And then there's the background music with the menus and the soundtracks, and it's just, there's updates to it all the time, and you get different sound packs for different years for the Battle Pass and the International. And it's all very professionally well done, and it can go from like a low background sound to increased fervor of a battle to joyous victory or dismay and defeat, and all the sounds actually work for what they're trying to convey. It's absolutely great. Now, Dota 2 was released in 2013, and there's not a lot of games from 2013 still around and kicking. However, Dota 2 has been an extremely popular game, boasting over 1 million concurrent players for several years. Although that population has declined to somewhere between mid 400,000 and 700,000 daily concurrent players, the total population is still well over 20 million players, with roughly 2 million individual players daily. In fact, just this week, there were more than 11 million unique players, and this was July 2019. That's not too shabby whatsoever. There's a strong drive by Valve in the community to make the game more new user-friendly, which is going to help increase player population. Now, me as a parent, I always look at parental controls. Steam has implemented parental controls through the Steam account setting called Family View. Parents can limit the games their kids play, how much money they're allowed to spend, hours they're allowed to play, everything. And Steam's Family View is so robust, I think I'm actually going to have to do a separate video on it. So once that's done, I'll put a link somewhere around here. One thing I will say about Steam and Family View is Steam requires that all users are age 13 or above. That's just their blanket thing because of some of the material that's available on Steam. They just don't want to expose any kids to that. So although Dota 2 is not necessarily that overly harsh, there are games on Steam that are, and they just don't want to risk kids seeing that. Age recommendation, like I said, teenagers, and this is partly because it's a significantly more complex game than some other ones out there for younger kids. I would say that they have to be able to plan their moves several steps in advance, working together as a team, being able to communicate clearly, understanding that they're not the center of this game, they're just a piece of it, and they're playing with other people. That said, there's plenty of adults who lose their composure during Dota 2 and should probably take some time away as well. Because of the complexity of the game and the required teamwork, this game scales very well through adulthood. The purpose of this game is multiplayer entertainment. There's a focus on teamwork. It can help build reliable communication and interaction skills while learning how to deal with or ignore negative personalities. This is personally one of my favorite games to play with others, especially with a really good group of friends. Online interaction is required to play multiplayer, not the bot matches. Voice and type chat's available and can be limited through the options in Family View parental controls. In summary, I've played more hours than I care to imagine in Dota and Dota 2. I believe that the game is highly refined, incredibly deep and complex, and rewards thinking and planning ahead. There's some drawbacks, such as an incredibly steep learning curve that is barely mitigated by the tutorials and the introductions, which have gotten significantly better. And the small but loud group of players who want to make the game all about them can be a detractor. Luckily, the staff at Valve and the majority of players want to continue moving forward with a great game and a great community. And they're taking active steps to reward positive player behavior. All in all, I think Dota 2 is a great game worth the effort of tackling, and the learning curve for new players is definitely worth the experience. Hey, if this video helped you out, let us know. Leave a comment down below. Hit that like button. Maybe press subscribe and that little notification bell so you don't miss any content going forward. This has been Ridir Gaming, and we'll see you next time.